Coverage not available in all areas.
Good afternoon and welcome to What's Bugging You on WGSO 990 AM and at WGSO.com. If you have questions or comments for your host or their guest, the number to call is 504-556-9696. And now here's your host of What's Bugging You, Jeff Addison.
Hey, good afternoon, fellow New Orleanians. This is Jeff Addison with What's Bugging You. And seated strategically to my left is the lovely and charming Laureen the Dream. Hey. That's Lauren, my wife. We're the proud owners of Pied Piper Pest Control. We're located in Gretna. We serve the entire metro New Orleans area, both residential, commercial, pest, and termite control. And we're going to take the next hour and talk about insects and pests. This week, I was listening to some of that unfortunate trial there in Florida, Casey Anthony trial, and I was listening to the part where the forensic expert was waxing eloquent on blowflies and how he could determine the time of death of the little girl. Man, what a tragic thing! But he was studying the flies, the pupae and the pupae casings in the trunk of the car where the body was, and now I'm talking about it's sad now, but it reminded me of one of my favorite old TV shows, the original CSI, the one in Los Angeles with the kind of introvert guy, and he studied forensic insects too. If anybody was a fan of that show,
yeah, I mean, wasn't he a single guy? I believe.
What does that mean? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I'm just saying, study insects, might stay single a little longer. I don't know. Go ahead.
Jeez. Well, anyway, it doesn't make a difference. The study, what I'm trying to achieve here, Lauren, is that some very highly educated, some very intelligent people study bugs. I mean,
So, are you trying to associate yourselves with this elite group here?
Yes, desperately. Yes. Speaking of which, I'd like to take this opportunity to bring to our listeners, thank y'all so much for listening. If you have a pest concern or a pest question, please give us a holler, 556-9696, 556-9696. But I would love to take this opportunity to bring to the listeners' attention that we discussed a topic here on this very show, this very hour, about 2 weeks ago, and it made national news this past week right here in New Orleans. That's who y'all are listening to right here. Just this week, Texas Governor Rick Perry was, he was on the national news discussing American exceptionalism.
I remember that.
That was all over the news. And here he is, a presidential hopeful, bragging on how great America is, and he acted like it was a new idea for him. But we discussed that weeks ago.
Ah, yes, old hat.
Well, that could only mean two things: that Governor Perry listens to this show. Is that a possibility?
To gain talking points, right?
Do we reach in? Yeah. Do we reach into Texas to Austin? No. Well, maybe that's not it. Or it could mean, Lauren, that you could be sitting here to some presidential material. I may be considering throwing my hat into the ring.
I think that might take a lot of money.
Yeah. It could, yeah. How much we got? How much?
That depends. How much did you make that deposit I gave you yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then let's see. You're probably about only $25 in the hole now. It's all gone, okay?
Well, wait. All the better. We're operating at a deficit. What more qualifications do I need?
Yes. Good company.
There's more to this than what I thought. Very good.
Well, speaking of the deficit, I heard just this week that America's at a tipping point. Federal spending now exceeds tax revenues by $1.6 trillion a year. That means 40% of what Washington spends is borrowed.
40%.
40%.
So put that in present day term. 40% sounds. What does that mean? That means if Washington spends $100, we're borrowing 40 of it.
Yeah.
Out of every $100 we spend, we have 60.
Yeah, we're borrowing 40.
All right. Well, that's not too. All right. I'm depressed already here. Now. We have the Florida case, and now we have the deficit thing.
But you're in good company. You ought to run for president.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see what else is going on this week. This week, me and Lauren went down to Florida and spent the day down in Gulf Breeze. Man, I needed to get away, and boy, we just had a great time. The sun was out, the wind was blowing. It was very therapeutic. I must say this. If you remember this, the best attraction on the beach was this really hunky guy. He had a kite, as best as I describe it. He was on this like a snowboard thing, being propelled by the wind. He had a big kite, and he was kind of steering it like a.
It was very cool.
Man,
very
he had
cool.
your attention. Then you were glued to that guy.
Yes, he was awesome.
Yeah, it was. I want one of those. Not that I would could ever operate the thing, but I want
Might
to.
need a huge gust of wind to keep it floating. I don't know. That guy was thin and lean, I don't know.
All right, well, I need some muscles and I need a lot of wind. All right. Okay, all right. But laying out on the beach the other day, I came across, I made some observations, and I just thought we'd come up with, segregation really wasn't around then, I guess. I guess it was on the way out, which is a good thing. But on the beach, I came up with some segregation rules, some rules of the beach. Just, for the betterment of everybody,
Yes, keep the young people on one end and the old people on another.
And I'll be somewhere in the middle somewhere. I don't want to go to the beach where they're all young people, man. They were all skinny and
Yep, I kept my clothes on.
I was just totally intimidated, but that's okay. That's all right. It didn't stop us from setting up our little tent and having, it was just a great relaxing day. So the rules I had was, if you're 70 years or older, you stay on your end of the beach over there. And this is all in jest, y'all. And some other things we saw, if your legs look like a Rand McNally Atlas, maybe wear a little bit longer shorts or stay on your side, your end of the beach too. And guys, there was a guy out there, he had to be 300 pounds with his shirt off. So if you're 250, let's put it like that.
Okay, you're in this category, right?
No, ma'am. No,
you're right under it then.
I got right. If you're a guy and you weigh 250, then leave your shirt on, please. That's another rule of the beach. And there's a spot for middle-aged people like me and you. We look good for our age.
Oh God,
that's a disclaimer for our age. And the only people who should have complete freedom on the beach are young people, skinny people. They could walk anywhere they want to go. But
that's terrible.
Well, I'm just saying.
I think you're jealous of the youth.
Well, sure, yeah. Yeah, listen. Well, listen, this is Jeff and Lauren Addison. We talking about pests. We're going to talk about some bed bugs today. We're going to talk on,
we've had several calls for bed bugs. So, it seems like it comes and goes. It gets to be pretty popular, and then it looks like during the winter it kind of died down a little bit.
Seemed like it did.
But lately we've had a couple of calls on bed bugs again.
Yes, we sure did.
So if you've been having a problem with bed bugs, maybe you'd like to give us a call and, discuss maybe some questions or concerns that you have about bed bugs, and hopefully we can help you out with that.
Great. It's a very interesting topic on a very interesting insect. So we have a little history on the bed bug and some preventions and some recognition things. So they're very interesting, just like I said, the CSI guy. He's an interesting character.
Yes.
And he did find a girl later on. This is Jeff and Lauren bringing you What's Bugging You.
Hey folks, it's Jeff Crouere. Have you always wanted to